Big promises have been made around the world about some of the most ambitious megaprojects, and it looks like 2026 is shaping up to be a key year for many of them. From new terminals at JFK Airport in New York to China's transformative canal system and Saudi Arabia's sweeping regional plans, these projects are set to hit some major milestones in the coming year. Here's a rundown of 15 huge projects that could define 2026 as they reach critical stages of development. Keep an eye out, because these are the kinds of projects that could change the way we live, work, and travel. Right across the edge of New York's JFK Airport, you'll find the new Terminal 1, for which over a staggering $9.5 billion has been spent so far. This terminal is envisioned to become one of the largest international hubs in airport history by stretching a whopping 2.6 million square feet. This massive infrastructure is set to finally open its first phase by mid-2026. And right from the get-go, it'll have the capacity to handle a roughly around 14 million passengers every year, which is absolutely crazy when considering the current status of JFK's airport, which is a total mess thanks to the aging terminals dating all the way back to the 1990s. Those cramped gates and poor traffic control may have worked back then, but now that the population has increased, the airport just fails to serve the 70 million passengers along with New York's global business crowd and tourists. The delays are unbearable and are costing the US millions of dollars, which is why they finally decided to make a change by focusing on building a central head house that would be incredibly massive with high ceilings, providing more than enough space for the passengers to glide through one security hall and then split to their respective gates, totally eliminating those never-ending queues. The passenger luggage will also be moved via an underground belt system, which will not fail in its task even if the system suffers from an error or a glitch, thanks to backup systems, meaning no flight delay whatsoever. But the main highlight has to be 300,000 square feet of shops and lounges, giving you the luxurious experience that every passenger deserves. The construction for this project began just a few years back in 2022, as part of the authority's massive $19 billion upgrade of JFK Airport. But thanks to COVID, everything slowed down significantly, which is one of the reasons why the cost has also increased, as the entire operation to build this new terminal is taking place inside a fully operating airport. The workers had to build around the active air train and carefully lift over a staggering 33,000 tons of steel without ever needing to close the runways or delay the flight paths. But thankfully, efforts might just be paying off, as by 2026, the first phase is expected to finally open, along with the main terminal building featuring arrival and departure areas and 14 gates. Once the project finishes in the expected 2030, it'll feature 23 gates, meaning the travelers will get even shorter lines, but still, it's one of the most expensive single-terminal US airports ever built. Right out on the farmland of Badgerys Creek, west of Sydney, Australia, stands a whopping $3.5 billion mega project that aims to build Western Sydney International, Nancy Bird Walton Airport. This new infrastructure will feature a staggering 2.3-mile-long runway, providing safe takeoffs every time. The airport is named after aviation pioneer Nancy Bird Walton, and its terminals alone spread across a whopping 970,000 square feet, and once finally opened, it'll have the capacity to easily host 10 million passengers a year. One of the primary reasons behind building this airport was Sydney's Kingsford Smith Airport, which suffers from maxing out every year, causing endless delays for the millions of residents along with commuters and moving goods. But thanks to this new ambitious gateway, it'll significantly ease that tension at the Kingsford Airport, providing smooth domestic and international flights and keeping businesses running even during peak seasons. Now let's discuss some details. The airport is aimed to feature a modular terminal, which is designed by Zaha Hadid architects Cox and Woods Bagot. This indigenous design will provide a smooth flow for the passengers, allowing them to easily go through large halls equipped with natural ventilation. Additionally, it'll significantly eliminate long queues and crowdedness, which you normally see at a typical airport. And thanks to fast taxiways, it'll cut the average aircraft taxi times to a whopping 5 minutes, which is a big milestone to achieve. But what truly sets it apart is the ability to be flexible. Yes, this airport will feature on-site solar panels and energy systems built right into the design. And intriguingly, the terminal can expand in modules, a perfect solution when the demand grows, meaning this airport can handle a mind-blowing 82 million passengers a year by 2063 without ever needing to tear down the original structure and building a new one. The project officially began in 2018, moving literal mountains of dirt, and despite several supply issues, the crew managed to complete the runway by 90% by late 2025. The metro rail link won't be opened up until mid-2027, so early passengers will just have to deal with buses. But on the bright side, Stage 1 is expected to open up by late 2026, featuring the runway, terminal, and a whopping 11,500 parking spaces. Right in the heart of Frankfurt, Germany, lies Europe's busiest cargo airport, and to further expand it, they're spending roughly $4.3 billion to build Terminal 3. This terminal will have a main building that will span about 1.9 million square feet, along with a total floor space of roughly about 4.3 million square feet. The terminal is set to open on April 22, 2026, with an ambitious goal of hosting 19 million passengers every year. Terminal 3 was very much needed as Terminals 1 and 2 have been handling millions of passengers every year, but due to being severely outdated, the crowd control is little to non-existent, leading to all the typical problems every overcrowded airport suffers from. So to solve this issue, Terminal 3 will be built upon a smart design featuring modular piers, G, H, and J, each giving the passengers access to an 820-foot wide check-in hall under a high steel and glass roof. Then the passengers will make their way through 21 security lanes, providing fast checkups before finally making their way towards the gate via a new 8-minute Skyline people mover connecting to Terminals 1 and 2. But the most interesting part is the fact that the terminal will be fully privately financed, meaning high quality and premium lounges even for low-cost airlines. The construction began nearly a little over a decade ago in October 2015, after years of negotiations with local residents over noise complaints. But the problems didn't stop right there, because then came COVID, the war in Ukraine, and the unfortunate supply shortages that made the opening impossible in 2022. But despite this push, the project surprisingly managed to stay within the budget. In 2026, the piers G, H, and J will be in full operational operation. And with that, the Frankfurt airport will finally solve a years-old problem. Across the outskirts of Paris, France is investing heavily with over $39 billion in building the Grand Paris Express, aka the largest metro project in Europe. The aim is to create an expressway featuring 124 miles of fully automated rail lines, with Line 15 South being the centerpiece, forming a suburb-to-suburb loop stretching across a whopping 20.5 miles, featuring around 16 stations. This Grand Express will take hundreds and thousands of passengers daily all around Paris without ever needing to pass through the city center. With the aim of opening in stages starting in 2026, this driverless system will totally reshape the outskirts of Paris and finally replace the century-old metro that is totally overworked by carrying more than 1.5 billion trips a year. The suburbs like Créteil, Villejuif, and Noisy-le-Grand have increased in population, meaning a massive increase in demand, and these old commutes just can't keep up with it. But once these new orbital lines connect these growing suburbs, daily travel for the people will become a whole lot easier. The construction of Line 15 will be fully automated, using giant TBMs to bore tunnels nearly 33 feet wide, cutting through limestone up to 100 feet underground. The stations will feature platform screen doors, easy transfers, and layouts that would help significantly reduce crowds. The train will use steel wheels, allowing it to reach speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. The central control centers will track passenger flows in real time, and the stations will act as urban hubs, featuring shops and public spaces, providing more jobs and business opportunities. The project was approved all the way back in 2010 and began its construction after 2015. And since then, the engineers have overcome tricky geology, sewers, and flood zones. But despite numerous challenges and setbacks, the Line 15 South will finally open in phases from 2026, with the aim of getting the full network operational by the decade's end. At LAX, the Los Angeles' busiest airport, a whopping $2.6 billion is being spent to build a 2.25-mile elevated automated people mover, along with 6 stations looping around the terminals. It's expected to be opened up for the public around January 2026, with the capacity of carrying 30 million passengers a year. This people mover might just be the solution for LAX's busy terminal loop that has been a long headache for over 80 million travelers who are forced to navigate taxis, shuttles, and rental vans, causing delays and congestion in the surrounding neighborhood. But with this new automated people mover, the chaotic mess created by millions of passengers will finally be resolved. The mover will be driverless and will feature 4 car trains made by Alstom out of 98% recyclable materials, which is absolutely crazy. The people movers will reach 47 miles per hour, reaching the stations every 2 minutes during peak times. They will also feature level boarding, wide doors, and regenerative braking, allowing energy recycling. And due to being solar-powered, the maintenance sheds will provide half the energy, making LAX's loop much faster, efficient, and eco-friendly at the same time. The contracts for this project were signed in 2018 under a public-private LINXS partnership, but due to COVID, several disputes, and LA's earthquake rules, this led to an additional $880 million in costs, and it also resulted in a massive delay from 2023. So far, the crew has tested the first trains in late 2025, showcasing a 10-minute ride from parking to terminals, and by January 2026, all 9 trains are expected to be fully operational, running 24/7. This system alone has the potential to cut roughly 42 million car miles per year, which is a massive achievement in itself. In Guangxi, China, the Pinglu Canal is being built as a game changer for the trading routes. It's an 83-mile waterway connecting the Zhejiang Reservoir to Qinzhou Port on the Beibu Gulf. But building it is beyond expensive, as it costs about a whopping $10.1 billion and involves moving a staggering 445 million cubic yards of earth. But despite being such a massive project, it's scheduled to open in 2026, with the capacity of handling 5,000-ton ships, providing a remarkable cargo capacity for inland provinces like Yunnan and Guizhou, while completely ignoring long sea routes. Southwestern China has always lacked direct sea access. Due to this, regions like Guangxi, Guizhou, and nearby provinces were forced to take their goods across a 350-mile detour through Guangdong's crowded Pearl River Delta. The detour caused massive setbacks and increased the cost by a significant margin. But now that the Pinglu Canal is near completion, it'll create a direct route giving access to the new Western Land Sea Trade Corridor, helping millions of people to export their goods much faster. This canal is truly an engineering marvel, as it features 3 navigation locks, including the world's largest inland water-saving ship lock at Madao, that incorporates the use of massive gates and minimal water to lift vessels over 75 feet above karst hills, with a 440-foot wide channel cutting through rocky terrain, generating a continuous water flow. The canal will serve multiple purposes, with the most crucial being flood control. By late 2025, excavation is near completion, making it China's first river-to-sea canal since 1949. The plan to build this canal first emerged in 2019, and full construction began in June 2023. By November 2025, 97% of the channel was complete and 80% of the banks were reinforced. The workers managed to build over 1,000 river crossings, and in 2026 it'll be in operation with an aim of providing the route for 95 million metric tons of cargo annually by 2035. Nestled high on the Tibetan Plateau where Sichuan meets Tibet, China is investing $4.7 billion in the Yebitan Hydropower Station. It's a staggering 712-foot tall double curvature arch dam, aka the tallest hyperbolic arch dam in China, and is capable of harnessing a 66,800 square mile watershed to generate a whopping 10.2 billion kilowatts per hour every year. As energy demand has soared with the introduction of new factories, EVs, and data centers in the southwestern region, the coal grids are unable to fulfill it, causing prolonged blackouts in remote villages, and as carbon targets fall behind, it has left Sichuan and Tibet without reliable renewable power. But Yebitan fills that gap by supplying over 200 million downstream residents, supporting industries bound for Shanghai, while also meeting Beijing's clean energy goals and controlling the flood threats in the valleys below. This hydropower station features a unique thin arch design featuring a 1 billion cubic yard reservoir and a 2,240 MW underground powerhouse equipped with 4 510 MW Francis turbines and a 200 MW unit. Water drops through deep shafts along with 5 surface gates to handle massive floods. This mega project began its prep phase in 2017, with the main dam construction beginning in 2019, and finally, in October 2025, the reservoir filling started, allowing the first unit to come online. And full power is expected to run in 2026, connecting to the world's tallest UHVDC line to Hubei. Out on Toronto's waterfront, where the CN Tower stands tall, lies the construction site for the iconic Sky Tower at Pinnacle 1 Yonge. It's a 106-story super tall building soaring through the sky at about 1,155 feet. It's Canada's tallest residential tower ever built and will be a part of Pinnacle International's Mega District, featuring over 950 luxury condos spread vertically across 106 floors, with 100 floors already built in December 2025, with the project finally expected to conclude in 2026. Toronto's downtown condos are currently very high in demand, especially the ones with waterfront have prices soaring very high, one of the primary reasons why investors are competing for Lakeview units. And that's where Sky Tower meets that increasing demand by offering global buyers and families top-class amenities with a clear view of Lake Ontario. The building features a 12-sided tapered concrete core with angled corners and vertical fins that significantly reduce the wind loads, along with a 700-ton tune mass damper that sways to minimize the effect of 62 mph gusts off the lake. Additionally, the curved glass walls maximize the views, making its residents every penny well spent. In the heart of Bangkok, Thailand, along Wireless and Ramaphore roads, they're building One Bangkok, a massive $3.2 billion megadistrict that will cover a whopping 19.4 million square feet, featuring offices, hotels, residences, and retail. The district will also dedicate 20 acres just for parks and feature modern technologically advanced infrastructure, making it Thailand's first dual platinum smart city. And in 2026, Phase 2 is expected to open up, starting with 5 luxury hotels, including Fraser Suites and Andaz, attracting millions of visitors annually. Bangkok's central business district has always been a traffic hub with very poor maintenance, causing floods and poor infrastructure. Due to these conditions, millions of people are barely surviving. But as One Bangkok is here to put everything back in order, the hopes are finally high. And Bangkok's 2030 Green Plan finally seems possible. To make this city walkable and flood-safe, Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill designed a main walkway that connects all the offices, shops, hotels, and public spaces. While LEED Platinum office towers feature solar panels, rainwater collection, and AI-controlled HVAC, cutting energy use by a staggering 40%. But the main highlight is the fact that almost half the area is devoted to green space, including vertical gardens and biodiversity corridors. After beginning all the way back in 2018 and in 2025, reaching 70% completion, Phase 2 in 2026 will bring massive changes in the region, including a massive increase in job opportunities and a boost in GDP. Out in Dubai's busy business bay, minutes from the Burj Khalifa, what you'll see is a massive building still under construction. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Burj Bengadi Jacob & Co. Residences. It's a truly mesmerizing 104-story tower shooting up just over 1,800 feet tall. The Burj Bengadi is considered to be the world's tallest all-residential skyscraper, featuring 299 luxury homes, just like the luxurious watches Jacob & Co. is famous for. The building is near completion, and buying a home in it would become possible in 2026 to 2027. This would be the place where ultra-rich people would live. Dubai's housing boom has made buyers and investors from all over the world race for high-rise luxury. Some do it for business, while others just want to create a status for themselves that they are the ones who get to enjoy Dubai's next ultra-luxury right in the middle of a desert. And Burj Bengadi is there to fulfill that desire. The building itself looks like a diamond-spire crown with a curved glass exterior that not only looks sleek, but also withstands the wind pressure at extreme height. To further maintain the stability, engineers had to drill super deep piles into bedrock. As for luxury, that's something you won't find anywhere else on the planet. From private pools on every balcony, to smart systems allowing you to control everything with just your voice. The interior is absolutely elegant, After all, it's Jacob Arabo himself who designed the interior for this building. The project was announced back in 2022 by Bengati and Jacob & Co., and after an extensive planning phase and getting approvals, the construction was finally set in motion. Thankfully, there were no delays, which is why by 2026, this tower will finally start functioning as a billionaire's playground. Starting from $2.2 million to going all the way up to the billionaire sky penthouse sitting at $204 million, this tower is about to break some records. George Lucas and his wife, Melody Hobson, are putting about $1 billion into the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art in Los Angeles, right beside the Natural History Museum. It's a futuristic 300,000 square foot dome-shaped building designed by Mad Architects. The structure looks quite similar to a floating spaceship spreading across 11 acres, featuring a roughly 100,000 square feet of gallery space, which is more than enough to store over 40,000 pieces of storytelling art, such as comic panels, movie props, and many more. The museum is set to open on September 22, 2026, making art enthusiasts very excited, as in the past, Los Angeles, despite having several famous museums, never really had one that was fully dedicated to drawings, cartoons, and sci-fi images that truly define modern culture. This place brings forth the entire community of modern art enthusiasts to one singular place and encourages creativity. In Mexico City's southern Santa Ursula neighborhood, the officials are spending a whopping $110 million just to renovate Estadio Azteca, the iconic structure that once hosted 2 World Cup finals. It was built all the way back in 1966, and after being neglected for years, the stadium will finally be ready for the 2026 World Cup opener on June 11th, while boasting a capacity of roughly 87,500 or more seats inside its massive bowl. The stadium is historic, but old seats, worn-out lights, and outdated locker rooms have completely left the fans exposed in the sun and rain. And with Mexico, the US, and Canada hosting a 48-team World Cup, these renovations were totally necessary, as it's a matter of pride for the locals and fans worldwide who held strong memories with this stadium. The renovation mainly focuses on modern comfort while keeping the same old stadium's energy alive. From installing new high-definition LED screens to a 340-speaker sound system, these upgrades will totally set the vibe for the upcoming World Cup. Additionally, the seats are also replaced for better views, along with numerous updates done for VIP areas. But the highlight is the hybrid grass field equipped with advanced drainage to avoid any delays during heavy rain. 2026 will bring life to this gym of the past, and it will once again roar with cheers of the crowd. Out in the snowy fields of Orchard Park, south of Buffalo, New York, a new Highmark Stadium is being built for a staggering $2.1 billion for the Buffalo Bills. The stadium will cover 1.35 million square feet, featuring 62,000 seats, hosting big matches starting next year in July 2026, just before the NFL season. This new stadium is right next to the current stadium, which will finally be demolished after the conclusion of the 2025 finale. The old Buffalo Stadium was built decades ago in 1973, which is why it has warned to an extent that building a new one is a better option than renovations. Moving on is hard, but look on the bright side. The new stadium will keep the franchise running in Western New York and also boost the region's economy, which is definitely a plus point. The new Highmark Stadium will have 2 main seating levels, with a lower tier close to the field for loud fans, a big video board on top, and walkways all around so people can move easily. The grass field will stay warm even in January. The premium clubs, on the other hand, will have fire pits and lounges and open corners, keeping the old school vibes while also providing modern comfort. The construction began back in June 2023, and by 2026, fans will finally get to enjoy their favorite spots in full action. When it comes to mega projects around the world, Saudia is arguably at the top of the list, as there's just so much going on in the country over the past few years, where a staggering $8.4 billion is being invested to build the world's largest green hydrogen plant. As powered by over 4 gigawatts of solar panels and wind turbines, the hydrogen plant will be capable of producing tons of clean hydrogen every single day. This alone can cut off an insane amount of CO2 every year. Throughout the decades of Saudi Arabia's history, the country has built its trillion-dollar fortune through selling oil, but as the world has progressed, the demand has shifted towards zero-emission energy, which is why the kingdom needs to create a new source of energy to power homes, factories, and future projects. And this is where the Neom Green Hydrogen Plant steps in. The plant works by using the electricity generated through solar panels and windmills to split the water into hydrogen and oxygen. Then the hydrogen is mixed with nitrogen to make totally green ammonia, which is shipped around the world as a new source of energy. As a matter of fact, the extra solar energy generated during this entire process is not wasted, but rather stored in batteries for use at night. Partners like Neom, Aquapower, and Air Products started building this project in 2023 and managed to complete it 80% only by mid-2025. The full power from this project is expected to come in 2026, along with the first ammonia shipments in 2027. Deep in the scorching heat of the deserts of northwest Saudi Arabia lies The Line, aka Neom's mega project that made the boldest promises in the history of urban planning. The Line is introduced as a 105.6-mile-long linear city of mirrored skyscrapers with an aim of housing over a staggering 9 million people by 2030. This linear city will feature 0 cars, and everything will be powered by sun and wind, making everything eco-friendly, but at the price of a mind-boggling $500 billion. The biggest number so far. After a massive hype created in 2017, it was expected that by 2026, the world would finally see the first 10-kilometer chunk of the city, featuring the future and trains reaching speeds of 311 miles per hour. But reality struck pretty badly, as by late 2025, the entire project shrunk to just a mere 2.4 kilometers, now costing $100 billion so far. Not to mention, so far, only basic spine work is visible amid endless sands, which is far from anything that was shown in those fancy visual tours. The original dream was to create a car-free paradise completely immune to floods and other natural disasters. They promised to foster Saudi youth, enhance tourism, and create a system operated with AI technology, and it was all supposed to be seen by next year. But all there is a ghost town of nothing but cranes and machinery still performing excavations, and a bunch of controversies surrounding how the locals of the area are being ruthlessly evicted from their lands. From a decrease in length to slashing the population from millions to thousands and investors backing out, it seems like nothing but a chaotic mess. In search of providing cleaner air to its residents, the debt now lingers in the shadows. Despite so many projects in this list, the most ambitious one is being cut back before its first phase even opens up. But there's still time, and who knows what the future holds for The Line. Only time will tell. There you have it, 15 mega projects that will come to life in 2026. From JFK's Terminal 1 to The Line's reality check, so many insane projects, some successful, while some not so fortunate. Thank you for watching it, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more MegaBuild stories.